Hello, this is Greg Allison of Green Grits coming to you live on the 24th of January 23. Time on deck is 00:3400 hours Central Daylight Time, or 12:3400 hours Central Daylight Time, however you want to list. Anyway, my friends, we are in a dire strait. We are in a situation where the tensions between the United States and Russia, between NATO and Russia, the West and Russia, are still escalating. They're getting higher. And the accusations being made by the Russians are off the charts. And we've got to pay attention to what's coming, guys. This is a serious situation. Now, it sounds like I'm playing an old record, an old song, guys. But let me show you some things. What Dmitry Medvedev, who is the deputy chairman of the Security Council of Russia, who actually is the only other person who served as president of Russia under Putin's regime, and reputed to be the second most popular politician in Russia. He has been really on attack against the West. And now Sergei Lavrov, who is the foreign policy minister of Russia, is really coming out and getting a lot stronger against the West too. I mean, what they're saying now is off the charts. I'm going to update my screen here and watch you guys, and I'm going to show you the articles, guys. All this going on while they're putting more and more of their air defense systems on rooftops in Moscow, while they're going through air defense training in Moscow, while they're expecting air attacks, not from Ukraine by itself. Ukraine wouldn't be up to that by themselves at this point in time. So are they planning to provoke war with NATO? What is cooking, guys? Why is the missile frigate, the Admiral Gorshov, off our eastern coast with hypersonic missiles right now? All this stuff going on really makes one wonder what is cooking, and let's hope it's not us anytime soon. So hang on, I am going to now share some screens. We've got 62 in the room. Thank you all for being here. Sorry for the late night start out on this, guys, but Hardnecks, you're first, yay. So sorry about the late night, but I had to go to my microgreens trailer, and I had to go take care of my greenhouse. And guys, I have a day job and a farm and a couple of things. I'm a busy puppy. So if I'm gonna do YouTube, it's late, but I don't just pop in front of the camera and start talking. It takes hours to prepare to do anything here on these shows. Just bear that in mind. What you see here is the tip of the iceberg. It takes hours to prepare. And if I'm uploading videos, there's time uploading for preparation. You don't want to hear all that now. I'll talk about it later. Anyway, so let's get into it. Let's do a share screen. Bing, 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 bing. And let's go in here, guys. I don't waste your time. The holy smoke, guys. Check this out. This is what's happening here. Here's what Lavrov has been saying here. He is, Sergei Lavrov. He's the foreign minister for Russia. He's like our Secretary of State. Our Secretary of State is like a very powerful person. This is a very powerful person in any administration. So he said, any cultural context related to you know what, guys, let me take this the next step. You know what, he's going to be on it. We're going to get into that later, guys. Basically, he's saying that they're at war with the West. Lavrov has basically come out and said they're at war with the West. And this is a Russian magazine, by the way. With all this, you keep showing all this question. This is RT, Russian Today. This is a Russian sanctioned Russian news source here, guys. And he, the foreign minister Lavrov, he was actually in South Africa. Russia's making inroads, strong inroads with South Africa of all places. So he's out there saying that this is no longer a hybrid war, but instead approaching becoming a real one. He's talking not about the conflict with Ukraine, but the conflict with the West. He said the West can no longer be denied. The conflict can no longer be denied as a hybrid war. Let me rephrase it, reread this. The conflict between Russia and the West can no longer be defined as a hybrid war. So he says it's not a hybrid war, but then he kind of softly steps into, but instead is approaching becoming a real one. Now, what does he mean by approaching? Well, guys, I got to show you. I don't have to scroll back up to the top of the article I started to show you a minute ago. I got into the weeds with it. but I'm going to show you what it says at the top of the minute. So, yeah, he knows it's almost real. It's something where the West has been preparing for a long time against Russia. So he's claiming that we're trying to wipe out their language, their culture. So what he's saying, language, culture that has existed for Russians. This is pretty serious, guys. So this is in RT. This is the Russian news. Now I'm going to go to a Greek news source. That's what I was showing you first, was a Greek news source right here. Boom. This is War News 24/7. And when you first bring it up, it literally is in Greek and it has to translate. War preparations in Moscow. Russia to declare new patriotic war against NATO. Victory will be ours, like in 1812 and 1945. Well, this came from Medvedev. This is Dmitry Medvedev talking. Now, this next statement is from Lavrov. He says, now we have a war between Russia and the West. So this is Medvedev and Lavrov. These are two very important people in Russia. And I'm going to show you something coming from the head of the lower house of the Duma, which is like the House of Representatives in our Congress. I have been in the Duma. I have been there in March of 2010. Watched an opera there, believe it or not, all about them defeating the Germans in World War II. So all the Cossacks dancing and everything. It was a very well attended opera, and I was there. So guys, this is to be taken very seriously. The rhetoric they're putting out is ratcheting up, and they're not just talking, they're putting the chess pieces in place. Now, is all this just chest thumping, crowing, and positioning? Well, it could be. But doing that in and of itself is highly dangerous unless you have some plans for backing it up. Now, see here, they're talking about the installation of those Panzer S-1 air defense missiles on the rooftops. They're talking here about S-300s. They're talking about people training in the gym. Guys, there's there you are right there. That's one of the Panzer S-1s on the rooftop in Moscow. They're putting these up. See, this is another one. You just keep putting more and more of these on rooftops. They're really expecting a major air invasion. Who's going to fill this major air invasion of Moscow? You know, Ukraine would love to, but I don't think Ukraine can pull that off. So are they really anticipating a war with NATO? Why would they so anticipate a war with NATO? Is it because Russia is to declare this new patriotic war against NATO? It's said that in just a matter of a couple of days that Putin is going to make a major announcement. They're also claiming Putin is in the hospital and about to disappear and all kinds of things. You know, Zelensky is actually saying, oh, Putin's dead, or just got a body double up there. I doubt that. But, you know, there's all kind of claims, all kind of propaganda people. It's really nuts right now. I'll read y'all's comments in a minute here. Sorry about being slow, and I got 106 in the room. I appreciate that. We only got 45 thumbs up. Okay, guys, help the channel out here. Help us out some. So, guys, this is a serious situation, and I bring this to you so you'll just know that you got to get ready, guys. You got to start preparing in some fashion. If all you can do is buy an extra can of soup at the store, buy an extra can of soup. You know, you can buy some crackers. Crackers don't last so long unless they're freeze dried and packed well. John Wayne crackers and sea rations for those older guys and a few gals that might have been in the military years ago, like back in the early 80s or prior to that. At some point, they changed it over to sea rats. Well, not sea rats. They got MREs came out in what? Yeah, I saw MREs when I was in the National Guard. I can't remember if they came out when I was still in the Army or not now. Anyway, guys, Russia and the West on the verge of real war. This is from RT, guys. This is the headlines in the article here in RT. I kid you not. Oh, yeah, let me show you some of the other things over here in the, I'll show some other stuff here. Anyway, well, that's not as exciting as what I saw earlier, but let's go back here in this Greek news. I'm going to show you some other articles here in the Greek War News 24/7. See, this is their headline. Now, see, it's Greek, guys. It takes a moment to translate. I kid you not, this is Greek. Looks Greek to me. Yeah. Well, it usually translates what's going on. It should translate. Yeah. This is the article I want to show you, but it's not translated yet. Where's the translate? Oh, well, let me open it up all the way. Maybe I can find the translate button. She is not, I want to translate. Wait. No. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what one of these other articles is. I can't read the headline right now because it looks like Greek to me, but this article right here says a naval SEAL was killed in Ukraine. It says the naval SEAL, well, they claimed he was like missing or he went on his own. He was like AWOL. He just happened to be in Ukraine. Navy SEAL. Now, Navy SEALs are special forces. They go out at the tip of the spear, right? So what do you think if a naval SEAL was in Ukraine? I just saw a headline this morning, even Biden claiming, well, there'll be no U.S. boots on the ground. Well, maybe fins in the water don't count as boots on the ground. I don't know, guys, but this is highly, highly suspicious. Now, maybe this article isn't telling the truth, but yikes. Well, of course, you can't tell nothing about it written here in Greek. Sorry about that. Oh, I did that. Hit a refresh and see if I can get it to come up in English. Oh, well. Usually when I bring this website up, it's got a toggle switch for English. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, like I said, it's Greek. I wasn't kidding you. Here's Scott Ritter making some bold claims. I'm not going to try to quote it now. I can't read it. Anyway, oh, well, so much for the Greek stuff. So much for the Greek stuff. Russians threaten severe retaliation, global catastrophe, nuclear war if West arms Ukraine. Of course, we're already arming Ukraine. They're talking now about tanks and heavy stuff. Supposedly we're not going to do it. And look here, Germany has given the initial green light for Ukraine to receive its Leopard 2 tanks. That is a green light from them to get them from Poland. Are they going to start coming from Germany too? Zelensky is complaining, saying 10 to 20 tanks aren't going to help him in this scenario against the Russians who have, thousands of tanks. He's begging for a lot more. Will he get them? Well, guys, oh yeah, by the way, hey, I got Lehman's as a sponsor. You might have forgotten that. Check my links below for all your garden needs. It's time to start gearing up for your garden, for your homestead, and survival gear in here too, guys. This is the kind of things you need with the grid down. So think about it, all kind of stuff, wood cutting, hauling, storage. Lehman's, yeah, they got all that, the homestead stuff, the old timey things, the things you're going to need if you don't have a power grid. So check out Lehman's right now if you would. I'll have a link in a lot of my videos, or you can go to prepwithgreg.com. You remember that. Don't need you remember that you don't need a link. But anyway, guys, so let me go back in here. greengregs.com. Russia rolls out more threats against the West. Oh yeah, it just keeps getting better. So here there's the supplies of the offensive weapons. Now this is the head of the Duma I was telling you about. This is the head of the lower house of the Duma, the state Duma. His name is, well, I don't know how you pronounce it, Vyakeshelov. I don't know, Vyakeshelov, Volodin. Yeah, hey, I don't know. If I hear it, I could say it. Vyakeshelov, Volodin. It's been a while since I've been in Russia, guys. 13 years. All right. Supplies of offensive weapons to the Kyiv regime would lead to a global disaster if Washington and NATO countries send arms that will be used for attacks on peaceful cities, what do they determine that to be, or attempts at occupying our lands. And does that include taking back Donetsk, Luhansk, and Crimea? And there's a couple other regions that they also annexed into Russia. You got to assume they're talking about that. As a threat they have been making, that's the only threat that the West has made to retake other portions that had been annexed by Russia. So you got to understand what they're saying. What threats are NATO making? Not to invade what was Russia before. So you see what's at stake. If they're saying if Ukraine, with the aid of weapons supplied by NATO and Washington, retake parts of Ukraine taken by Russian tanks. Now, hey, I say it's debatable whether Donetsk and Luhansk and Crimea should be considered part of Ukraine. Maybe they should have a vote, but it would have to be monitored by somebody other than Ukraine and Russia to be sure it would be impartial. Hey, we got Bernie from Australia. Good to see you, Bernie. I'm going to go back and check the chat. Here we got 128 in the chat and only 64 thumbs up. Come on, guys. Only half of you like this video. I think that's the case. I think only half of y'all like it. So how come y'all don't like it? How about telling me why you don't like my videos? I'm not getting super chats and not getting thumbs up. What's your complaint? Put it in the chat room. Tell me what y'all don't like. I want to hear it because I'm going to think y'all don't like me. So if you don't, tell me why. Or if you like me, say you like me. Put a thumbs up. Come on, guys, help me out. I'm getting stomped hard. I put in a lot of work to make these videos, and it's hard to get stuff out on this platform. I only get a fraction of the views I got when I was a much smaller channel. When I was a much smaller channel, I got way more views than I get today. Anyway, whatever. So, that's the least of our problems. Right now, we got to worry about getting fried. I'm trying to get the word out to you guys. I need y'all to help me spread the word that we're in danger, just for the purpose that people will know to prep, get ready. That's the whole purpose, guys, so people will know. And we can maybe take preventative actions from time to time about things like this. I've come in many times to talk about going to the Freedom Restoration Foundation and taking actions to help preserve our freedoms, to restore our freedoms, and to make sure we don't wind up in a war. How many times have I done that? Many, many times. And I pay for that out of my pocket, guys, that website. Like Wise Owl pays for our Survival Tribe Network out of her pocket. She pays a good penny for that too, guys. We're trying to help you guys. So come on, let's get ready. Let's get involved. Let's make a difference, guys. Let's save our world. That's what we want to do here. But in a nutshell, what they're saying is if we provide weapons to Ukraine that Ukraine uses to take back land, irrespective of who thinks what belongs to who, then they're going to consider this war. And they consider that pretense for a global disaster. I mean, how do you want to interpret this? This is, taking back their territory is an existential threat to them. An existential threat is a prelude or an excuse for the use of nuclear weapons. And they're arming up Belarus right now. So maybe they would let Belarus be the patsy, the dirty boy to launch that stuff. I don't know, guys. It's not pretty. It's not pretty. So it is not pretty. So guys, one more free article. That's funny how they do this stuff. Now, this is one of the things that really gets me. In spite of all that, here is Senator Lindsey Graham, who I used to refer to as being John McCain's wife because he was always, just right under John McCain's coattail. So maybe John McCain's widow. Now, really, John McCain was married, but still, Graham really had me wondering. He says, I'm tired of show. Send U.S. tanks so others will follow. Interesting. What do y'all think about that? Well, maybe that just pushes it over the red line. Does it? Does it not? Is Russia's red line a bluff? Well, what's going on in the Atlantic Ocean right now? What do they got off the shores of Hawaii right now? You see that? I'm sure by now all of you have seen the video I did with Lee Wilbarger yesterday. Something's cooking. What is it? And then on top of that, there's this, guys. The Kremlin believes that we've got a plot to take out Putin if he's not already dead. Really? Well, maybe we do. I don't know. But you got to know, and I've said this many times, the main objective of a regime, the main objective of a guy like Putin is making sure he survives. And they will do almost anything to ensure that. And so, guys, this is not inconsequential. This is, and Sergei Lavrov has used this. He's quoted this as pretext for a war on the West. So, and on top of that, Putin is set to disappear from leadership position as intelligence officials confirm there's clearly something going on in his health. Now, I don't know, guys. He does look kind of sleepy there. But dang, sometimes I get a bit sleepy too. They might have just caught him at a bad moment. You know, that's how they like to photograph people most of all. You know, opposition people. So, yeah. All right, another power station. That this is not exactly any news, but this is still going on, guys. And you might see a whole lot more of this if we get into war. So I'm gonna check y'all's chat. I'm gonna stop the share for a minute. We'll go back to it in a moment. I'm gonna check y'all's chat. How's everybody doing? Halo. I'm behind on chat scanning here. I'm gonna see what you guys are saying. So if anybody's complaining to me now, you ought to be. Since you only gave me 85 thumbs up, somebody should be in the chat room griping at me. Tell me why you're not giving me a thumbs up or whatever. So come on, let's hear it. I'm tired of people hiding behind stuff. And, I don't want to talk. I don't like you. If you don't like me, come out and say it. Man up, woman up, whatever. I want to hear it. I want to hear what the issue is. Yeah. All right, so let's hear it. Be bold. Come out here and say it. Step up on your soapbox and let it out. Now's the time. I'm wearing a red shirt for red for war today. All righty. So what do we got here? We got Beta Storms. Hello, Zen Jamin, Hardneck Farms, New Days, Lady LaBelle. Oop, it jumped. I hate it when I'm trying to scroll and it just goes from the top all the way to the bottom. Jeez. Let me scroll back to the top. Try to scroll it again. Ding, 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 ding. Sorry about that, guys. La. KD, can anyone deny that America is poking the bear? I'm not denied that. I have actually said it. If you heard my poem the other day that I read, I was talking about that directly in that poem. Okay? Our point in this video isn't who's poking who so much as we might get poked back, and that poking might wipe us out. That's the point. A nuclear war, an EMP, I don't care who starts what. You're in this country. You're here. And if well, I do care. But listen, and I'm against a lot of this stuff. I came out early on with videos. If you've seen them and gone back, I had videos early on with David Pine talking about things that we might could do to prevent all this stuff from happening. Well, that didn't happen, did it? Now look where we're at. And a lot of it was to give a certain sphere of influence to Russia and blah, 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 blah. Now, I got other friends who would be all against that. But anyway, I have been, trying to calm things down. So, but yeah, people come in and accuse me because I'm trying to tell you about things you need to know just to prepare. I'm trying to bring you news. I'm not trying to take sides here. I'm trying to bring you news. The purpose of this news is so you'll know to get ready. In the final analysis, when the bombs are flying and they're coming this way, it don't matter anymore. The only thing that matters is you got to cover yourself and your family and your kids to survive, thrive, stay out of the hive, and get back up on the other side, shake the dust off, and build a better world, hopefully. So that's the bottom line. If we can stop people from poking each other, that's what we need to do. But right now, they seem all intent on it. Now, like I said, I read a poem in one of my live sessions just a week or two ago. It was less than a week ago that I had written 5 years ago, forecasting where we're at today. 5 years ago. And I was talking about that very thing. So, yeah, nobody's denying. I'm not denying it. There are people that would deny it, though. There are people, and some in this channel and some good friends of this channel, who will absolutely deny it or say that we're not poking them enough. There's some saying we need to come out with the big guns and end the bear. I'm not, hey, we got a super chat. Yay! First one in a while. That's a good one. Let me see who gave a super chat. La. Cha-cha. Thank you, Cha-cha. There you go. I do work hard. This is a lot of work to come up with these videos, come up with this material, and to bring you this stuff, guys. It takes time. Like, when I was doing the video with Lee, I was actually on air for 2 hours, but you saw those articles I pulled up and all the stats. And if you notice, when I bring articles up, they're not usually jumbled, they're in order. Of how I want to present things. Every once in a while I mess up. I miss when I didn't move the tab in the right place, but that's the exception and not the rule. So it takes a lot of time to get this stuff set up. It takes a lot of time to bring you what's happening here. So I thank you for that, Cha-cha. I appreciate that. You made my night. So Now, if we just give you more thumbs, okay, if the thumbs up are starting to filter up a little bit. But, guys, if you don't want to give me a thumbs up, and if you got a complaint, put it out there. Put it out there. And that's good. Somebody, ask questions in here. And that's good. Bring it on. Bring it on. Let's hear it. If you got a complaint, I'm not going to blow you the heck out of it. If you're being civil and you're just wanting to debate, that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and call you names and blow you to pieces. If you're being civil and you got a difference of opinion, that's not how I operate. But I don't mean I agree with you. But then again, I'm trying not to take sides here. The main objective of these videos is to wake people up to the need to prepare. I try to say both words at the same time. To prepare. Anyway, so, and if people aren't getting that, then they're just missing the whole point of it. And I go into the depth and detail to show you the reality of this, because we hear it so much, we get jaded by it, and we kind of forget. What do you need to be doing? Go out and fill your gas tank up. Make sure your water's full. Make sure you got water purifiers. Make sure you got batteries. Just day-to-day things. Make sure that your pantry's full of whatever you put in your pantry if you can. Realize that if your power goes out, your frozen goods may not last long. You have anything to grill them with so you can have a big feast before you get hungry? I don't know, guys. Just think about it. So let me Zen, it's family here, guys. That's right. That's right. And bear in mind, please keep your language at the family level. No cursing, no lewdness. If you get lewd, my mods will eliminate. If you come in just like a bot putting trash out, you're gonna be assassinated by my mods. You will be terminated quickly. There's a standing rule: all bots get terminated with extreme prejudice, instantly hidden. But but watch your language. Don't use bad language, because we are a family channel. We're trying to be good. Red is your color, says Lady Libel. Ho ho ho! I'm Santa Claus, of course. See, Santa. Santa's. Ho, ho, ho. Anyway, it does go with me, don't it? It's also the color of, the Alabama State team and a lot of other things. Anyway, so let's see what we're going on here. Let's see. Granny's in the house. That's good to see. Make that vision I had with missiles coming from Cuba or behind Cuba. Oh, that's the way you saw it. More sense from a sub. Okay, New Days. We got to talk. It's not like your vision might be close. Yeah, that's where that thing was heading, to Cuba. Of course, it could turn around and come back. But from Cuba, the range of these missiles is horrendous. It's horrendous. They could reach most of us. Could it be just posture, says Bernie? Yeah, that's just one of the things I just said. It could be. We got to hope it is. But if you're going to posture to that degree, say all these things, put all the chess pieces in place, then you'd liable to provoke the other side to act. When you're posturing that much, see, guys, here's what I tell you. You got to understand this. In a nuclear war, there's only one winner. There will be a winner, possibly. If one side conducts a first strike, a complete, not a halfway, a total first strike, MPs the other side, take out all their strategic forces, launch everything you can to take out all of their strategic forces. You don't have to go for their cities. Go for the strategic forces, the first wave. And then you can hold the cities ransom. Yeah, that's how you win a nuclear war. And the side that does that, the other side will not be able to respond. They're going to be bleh. We shouldn't be in a position where that could happen. But that's how they've allowed our systems to deteriorate. That's how our State Department has negotiated us into a situation like that. Yeah, watch my videos with Dr. Peter Vincent Pry. Go search, go on my channel, click videos and search for Pry. And search for Pearl Harbor and topless like it, just in case I didn't put his name in every title. So yeah, I've got several videos with Dr. Peter Pry. He was very informative. It was a horrible loss that we lost him. He would be so much help today. The bear needs more than a poke, needs an ass kicking, says Tony Walker. So there you have it, guys. We got both sides. And honestly, considering what's been done to the civilian population, but how do you do that when they've got nuclear power they got? So you've got to proceed when you're fighting a nuclear power. That's serious business. Now, you got to remember, Zelensky wants to try Putin and all these guys in court. How do you do that? Only if you totally take them out. You would have to go into Moscow. If you go into Moscow, that's an existential threat which provokes nuclear war. Now, if it's just Ukraine and Russia duking it out, but could Ukraine pull that off on their own? No, they can only do that with Western weapons. And that's why Laroff is saying what he's saying. Is he posturing? Maybe. But if you're banking on that, you're playing Russian roulette. Now, do you want our government playing Russian roulette with our future, with our kids, our grandkids? This not just, we're not talking about something. If we go to nuclear war, it's not going to be something just in Europe. Probably not. Not they're bringing on the West. And that's what they're saying. Now, if it's just posturing, then good. If it's just posturing, then we might be okay. But what if it's not? How do you take it? Everybody's got an opinion. Just like other things everybody's got. Everybody's got an opinion. The problem is there's some serious unknowns here. And that's what you got to bring some hand wringing. You got Graham, Lindsey Graham, push it on, but then he's a hawk. He's a war hawk. Tight like one. He ties like this. Yeah. I don't know. Can't go there. I can't even do it. Can't even talk that way. Anyway, yeehaw. So South Africa had nukes. It's alleged that they got rid of them, and it's alleged that those nukes got loose on our side of the fence, not on the rescue side. Who's got them? Now, yeah, suppose we got those nukes and then we lost them. Supposedly, allegedly. Allegedly, it's 4 or 5. Strange stuff, guys. Strange stuff. Strange stuff. But who was involved in helping South Africa develop nukes? Klaus, yeah, of the house. Schwab the deck. Yeah, get it? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. He was number 2 man in the company that was funneling the technology from Europe. I covered that a couple nights ago. All right, let's see what everybody's saying. I'm going to read the chat room here, and we're going to share some more stuff after this. We'll cover some other news. 173 in the room. Wow, that's pretty good. Rochelle, blessings, dog, just to listen tonight. I'm rather tired and may possibly fall asleep. If you can fall asleep, good, Rochelle. And yeah, we need to pray, guys, more than anything. Bio warfare lab should never have been there in Ukraine. Well, you knew. I really question the veracity of those claims of the biolabs. And here's why. I made this point before. It's like, well, the Ukrainians were developing a genetic weapon to use against the Russians that would attack Russians. That's the claim. The problem with that is the Ukrainians and the Russians are genetically the same. So it don't make any sense. Just don't make any walking around sense. Putin has even said it. He said, hey, they are us, us is them. Where did Russia start? Russia actually started in Kyiv. It was Kyiv, Russia. Way back in early history. That's where Russia started, right out of Kyiv. So that don't make walking around sense. Just don't make walking around sense. Now, what we do know is there were labs. The labs were there, supposedly to remediate weapons, and they were used for some agricultural stuff. Now, did it go beyond that? I don't know. Now, just like other stuff that happens, there's a lot of things that shouldn't be going on that our side and other people have been in part of. And I'm not going to say that some of that did not evolve there. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying a lot of the claims don't make walking around sense. But then there's this whole thing about this stuff, you know? So anyway, so I don't take everything at face value. You got to remember this, there's tons of propaganda. Each side puts out tons of BS. Both sides are blowing BS like a hurricane. 9/10, maybe 99/100 of everything you hear from either side is BS. BS, big time. Bravo Sierra. There's lots of that going out. Wow. And people are getting emulated by it. Tons of it. Both sides. Don't forget that. That's why I'm not trying to pick sides here. I'm just putting out there, guys, that there's a lot of stuff going on, and there is a threat today. Whoever started, didn't start it, whatever, is almost immaterial. If they start flying missiles, then you got to duck and cover. His starter. Now you better have a lot more going than that. Hey, we got Colonel Cole in the house. How you doing, Colonel Cole? Is everybody else referring to him? I missed where he entered that because I'm scrolling here and sometimes I miss a few. Oh, there he is. Sorry, I'm late. It's all right. We're late anyway. Well, at least someone's preparing for war. We need to be. You need to be preparing. Are you ready? What are you going to do? That's the whole point here. What are you going to do? All right, Jake. Somebody got on to you for your language. Like I said, we are a family channel. Been discussing on another format reference tornado outbreak for the Gulf Coast tomorrow. The latest nug bands. Yeah. And some of these crazy shootings. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's something I'm going to talk about on the other channel when we get out of here, is that it's just how these things are always framed. You know, according to the Charlie Romeo Tango theory, if you know what I'm talking about. 53 out of 100, and yeah, you're right. Now we got finally 137 thumbs up and 172 in the room. Yeah, we should be getting a lot more thumbs up, guys. What's going on with that? Stuff is heating up. 10E to the 6 over in the west side of the U.S. Frozen. 10E. Oh, 10E6 aircraft, I guess. I'm thinking mathematically. 10E to the 6. That's 10 million. I'm thinking scientific notation. Anyway, Carl Default. Allegedly, the SEAL was AWOL. Apparently deserted in 2019. He went AWOL and went over there to fight. Let's say, I want to fight, so let me go AWOL to fight. Now, that could be. Yeah, SEALs like to scrap him. Maybe he wasn't getting enough action. Stuff was going on over there. Maybe that's the side he favors. Maybe he's from there, got family. They just jumped right in. Or maybe he was sent. It was his assignment, and that was the claim to cover, so that somebody like Joe B could stand up. Well, there'd be no boots on the ground. You know, Nixon was saying we had no boots on the ground. Actually, it was not Nixon. Actually, during the Kennedy administration, we had people in Laos. Yeah, no, we had people already in Vietnam and Laos, and in the Johnson administration, in Vietnam, and in the Johnson administration, we had people in Laos. I know sergeants who were there at the time frame that we said we didn't have anybody there. There were people I knew who were there. They told me this. So we were there right then. I was right inside the border. I was over there doing this, that, and the other. And they were saying, well, we had nobody over there. And I was right in the middle of it. I've had more than one tell me that. Quite a few. Yeah, when I was in the Army, you know, I went in the Army right after the Vietnam War, and all my sergeants were Vietnam vets. Love Lehman's. There you go. Tony Walker. Heard so many points of views, don't know who to believe. Well, Tony, that's just it. And maybe there are a lot of points of views. It's because there's so much propaganda out there. So the thing you got to do is you got to stop back and look back and go, okay, what makes sense? What makes walking around sense? You know, it's just like this whole notion of micronovas is put out on some other channel talking, well, the earth does this And when it does, you get a 2-mile high wave. It goes around the earth and it just wipes everything out. And the sun throws out so much energy, it evaporates 600 feet of seawater and blah, 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 blah. That is the biggest bunch of horse dovers I ever heard in my life. I stopped and I said, okay, if this is true, then there's certain signs. Now, but I listened to them and I thought, okay, and if that's true, I'm going to find signs in geology to back this up. They cite certain little things, but there's very, very, very more plausible other explanations for all these other things they cite, including all this Chan Thomas crap. Yeah, that's what I called it. Listen, if all that were true, there would be no stalactites or in any cave on Earth over 4 foot long. None. Right there, you go to Cathedral Caverns, you're gonna find one called Mammoth. This ginormous column. Columns from stalactites and stalagmites that join. You drip from the top, and it starts from the top and forms the bottom, and they meet in the center and grow a big column. Oh yeah. Florida Caverns is only 70 foot above sea level. Thing is, that water pressure would cut into it would go in any cavern, shoot like a knife, and it can cut steel with water. There are water jets for cutting steel. Anybody that's a submarine guy knows that water under pressure, you got a 2-mile high wave of water, the pressure is going to be unbelievable. It wouldn't take but a few hundred feet, and it would blast out, not even that. You would blast all of these columns, all these stalactites, all these stalagmites would be cleared out every 12,000 years, according to what these guys say. There would not be any such thing as a stalactite or stalagmite over 4 foot long. Not only that, how come, we had apparently flooding up in northern Africa where it might have been 1,500 feet high, which that's a splash from the Laurentide ice sheet collision comet that hit back then. That's what caused that, and caused a lot of these other anomalies. It was a deadgum cometary strike on Earth, but it didn't splash the same everywhere. The Carolina Bays were formed by it. But if you go back and look at the fact that even though northern Africa was seeming to get flooded at high elevation, Congo, no elevation. The pygmies were right there and they'd been all the time. They didn't get flooded out. Australia, their aborigines have been there for 50,000 years. They didn't get flooded out. So all this stuff about all these waves, and also Antarctica's got ice sheets that exist along. I asked Ben Davison about that. I said, Ben, how do you explain these ice sheets that are there for tens of thousands of years? And we got actually hundreds of thousands of years, some of these ice sheets, and you're saying that the Antarctica was at the equator. His explanation to me was, well, it flipped the equator, then it just turned and flipped right back. All right, now I gotta believe two loony doony things. One, it did it in the first place, and then it just instantly flipped right back where it was. Oh yeah. And then I mentioned to you guys that the bulge around the equator, so they're not saying the whole Earth flips, they just claim the crust is flipping. The bulge around the equator is many miles higher than the Himalaya mountains. If all these tectonic plates had to slide over it, they would crack and fracture like a plate struck with a hammer, because you ain't gonna have these tectonic plates sticking way up in the air going over this and not breaking. Gravity, no, they would shatter to pieces. We don't see that. There's so much evidence that all that's horse dovers. I mean, the evidence just is confounding. It drowns all this little theory stuff they put out. Oh yeah, but it's all caused because the sun crust up, right? Oh yeah, the sun crust up because all this dust comes from space, and so it covers up, and then the sun goes poof. They never melted anything in their life, have they? They ever been to a distillery? Have they ever melted lead? No, apparently not, because all the heavier stuff sinks to the bottom. It goes down with the gravity well. It don't crust up on top. What would crust up on top is the lighter elements, but the sun is made out of hydrogen and helium. So you don't have silicon crusting up on the surface of the sun unless you're a flaming idiot. So their theories are so outrageous, but they put them out all the time, and people listen to them. You don't know. You're not a scientist. You're not an engineer. You don't work in a distillery, a refinery. Maybe you don't know these things. Okay, that's fine. They talk about them like they're experts, blah, 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 on and on and on. You get a whole community of these people just reinforcing each other. It's goofy. It's goofy. Absolutely goofy. All right, enough of that. But that's what I'm talking about. There's so much stuff out there. And the reason I bring these things out is because there's so much stuff out there. You got to be able to sort through it. And you got to be able to look around and look at other evidence on anything out there, because the whole internet is full. Any topic you take, any single topic, 99% of what's out there is Bravo Sierra, big time, very deep, and it smells like this. You got to be discerning. You got to sort through it. You got to look and start putting the puzzle together. What pieces fit? Well, they will put pieces together and make them look like they fit, but there's going to be holes in it. If you start looking, you're going to find the holes. They'll tell you, well, this is connected to this, and this is connected to this, and this is connected to this. When you start looking, you say, yeah, but how come this? Why not that? You see what I'm saying? You just got to start looking, discerning. And, maybe you're not a scientist, an engineer, a geologist. Look, guys, I don't watch TV. I spend all my time trying to figure stuff out. I don't watch TV. Blah, 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 blah. That's goofy to me. I'm trying to, we got a real world in front of us. A lot more interesting. Besides that, I get more drama from my hired help around here than you'd ever want to get from 20 soap operas. So real life. Oh my gosh. Holy guacamole, smoky moly. All right, guys. So let's see here. They're talking about, F-16 fighters. Exactly, Rick. Exactly. Sorry, guys. I'm behind on the chat. 189 in here now. Wow. All right, for those that's just joined, maybe I got to recap and go back over what we talked about here. Thank you for sharing the Lehman's link there, Katie. Don Birch, Earth core. Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about the Earth core. Earth's core has stopped spinning, but Earth's core has stopped spinning before. Well, they think this is a 70-year cycle. Now, this is something that's supposedly science, but this is tenuous. They don't have a lot of evidence. They have been looking at this for a long time. So this is what they're postulating. They are thinking there's a 70-year cycle, and it explains a lot of things geologically and magnetically, that this has been happening every 7 years, that the Earth's core spins and stops and turns the other way. Okay, that one is worth questioning. Definitely. Yeah, that's one of the articles I'm going to pull up, guys. That's definitely worth questioning, guys. Definitely, Don. Asteroid 2023 BULD. Yeah, I'm going to have to look that one. I heard something about an asteroid coming our way. Every time I hear asteroids coming our way, I usually ignore it, because there's like articles and a lot of papers be talking this stuff. Oh, there's 3 asteroids coming our way, going to just barely miss Earth, and you'll find out they don't even come, 10 times the distance of Earth and Moon. So we'll check it out. We'll go on my Galactic Greg's channel, and we'll go to spaceweather.com and check that out. I've actually opened a link to it. Why not you mention that? Let me look at it real quick. Ding, 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 ding. I think I opened that one. Yeah. I'm going to scan down real quick. I looked at the sunspots. Oh. Yeah, it's only 5 meters in diameter, okay? You're right, 0. The missed distance is 0. Uh-oh. But it is 5 meters in diameter. Velocity, 9.3 kilometers per second. Now, we've had some others that had 0 missed distance that didn't hit us in the past. So that's a close one. Okay, very good. Wow. That is coming in. Yeah, this is a new one. I didn't see this last time I looked at this a couple of days ago. This is, I saw the news. Problem is, I see these headlines so much, and there's so many people making so much hoopla about stuff like that. I tend not to pay a lot of attention. All right, until I actually go in and verify. And this one is coming. This is going to be a close one. It may hit us. But 5 meters, yeah, it could be probably not as big as the one at Chelyabinsk, or Tunguska. But that may not be inconsequential. This is going to be interesting. 5 meters. It's not one that's going to wipe out a city, but it might hit a car or something. Let's hope not. Probably most of Earth is unoccupied. Most of Earth is unoccupied, and only if it's got iron in it, it's probably going to reach the ground. But a high atmospheric explosion can do a lot of damage, as we saw in Chelyabinsk. But that thing was probably a lot bigger than this. Well, that's interesting. All right, guys. So I will show that on Galactic Graves in a little bit. All right. That's interesting. All right. Rochelle says Valachikilas is pronunciation. Yeah, okay. I probably still didn't get it. I got to hear things sometimes. Seed sown eventually get harvested. All right, there you go. Remember this, folks. Western U.S. equipment is very sophisticated, relatively speaking. You cannot dump the stuff on folks and expect them to be used properly. That is very true. I was telling you guys about the motion to put Patriot missiles to Ukraine. I was telling you that typically it takes a year to train people just to operate the stuff, without even being mobile on it. My son was a Patriot missile operator, and he thought it was kind of interesting that they were going to be trained by the German Patriot crews because he said they were the worst ones. He said they barely could operate the systems they had. He said when he was in Iraq War that they passed those units all the time, broken down on the side of the road. They didn't know, apparently they didn't know what to do, but he went on, supposedly the Patriots are supposed to be in the rear, but when he was deployed, his unit was really good. They were out of Fort Bliss. They went straight up to the front lines. I mean, they were out there behind the naval SEALs, setting up Patriot units up there near Syria. I mean, they were just, boom, they charged right across Iraq with those things. So that's kind of interesting. Nunu, appreciate your videos, Greg. Well, thank you, Nunu. Appreciate you, man. Let's see here. Shadow banning. Yeah, I think so, Brian. I think that's my problem. And it's probably because I've got the Freedom Restoration Foundation, because I am an activist, because I do try to come in here with some preventative measures. An ounce of prevention is worth a gallon of cure. So I got the Freedom Restoration Foundation set up. But ever since I set that up, my views went, ooh, I mean, tanked. When I had just a few thousand people, I mean, I just had a few thousand subs. I mean, like, 12, 14,000. I got 4 times the views I get today, 2 years later. My other videos got a lot more views. I didn't get nothing there. You watch these other channels that talk the same stuff I do, they may actually talk it more. They may get more pointed. They may go further on the ledge than I do, and they still get more views. So why do they get more views and I get less? Is it because you don't want to watch me? You don't like what I say? You don't like how I look? I don't know. People was happy with that 2 years ago. What's different? I don't know. The only thing I can think of is I started Freedom Restoration Foundation. Yeah. Hey, Canadian Vegan Outreach. I am vegan. Okay. Our next. So let's see. Let me scroll some more. Anton wears kilt. Rumble, Greg. Oh, well, I got my Rumble channel, but it's just, it's puttering right now. Raytheon Graham. Oh, that's who he is. Raytheon Graham. Good point. These guys are getting some kickback. Yeah. Nukes or MPs are going to fly. Maybe both. Let's start with the MPs. All right. Too many days east of LA yesterday, 11 day. Oh, yeah. Man, we got a mess going on. We've got a mess. Both those cases, see, that's one thing he's alluding to. Atlanta and LA, both sides of the United States. They start blaming supremacists. What they call this color supremacist. That's what all the blokes started. Blah, 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 blah. Well, they were dead wrong. That's how they start out always. I'll show you that on the next channel. So really, I started to make a comment when I first, I don't want to say it on this channel. I'm going to keep the politics out here. I'm going to keep the politics here. Russia isn't bluffing. I don't think so, Hunter. I really don't. Because you got to be serious. When you put those kind of chess pieces on the table, you got to be ready to rumble. You got to be ready. See, okay, let me explain this. From the Russian viewpoint, I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm going to explain it from the Russian viewpoint. I've done this before. Russia is a big, flat, wide open plain. It's almost indefensible. Moscow is almost indefensible. The only way the Russians have historically ever been able to defend this is go to those geological choke points where access is limited, like the Polish Gap between the Carpathian Mountains and the Baltic Sea. And you put troops in those choke points like the down south side of the Carpathian Mountains. There's a couple places around the Caucasus. The Caucasus Mountains give them pretty good cover, but wherever they got a gap into Asia. So put their troops in these places around their empire to fill the gaps and concentrate them in those areas. That means they got to move their troops forward outside of what's traditional Slavic Russian speaking Russia. So they've had wars of conquest that would conquer countries who didn't want to be part of it, just so that they could project their forces to these points to keep other forces from coming in. And they've done this into Europe and Asia and other places. And this is what they've been doing for hundreds of years throughout the era of the Russian Empire into the Soviet Union. And now they're trying to get back to that today. And one of the reasons they're doing this today is because they're demographically running out of young people. The demographics of Russia, typically a country will have very few old people and a lot of young people. Branch out like this. Well, Russia is the opposite. They're doing like this. And it means that they're going to be in severe trouble and are running out of people to use for soldiers. So it's now or never from Russia's standpoint. And when Russia's mind frame, they've been invaded so many times, they got a paranoia about it. And they think them lazy ass Europeans are going to invade them. Really? And French, the Germans are going to invade Russia. Germans especially. You got to be kidding. They got to go through Germany to invade. Germany was trading with Russia, dependent on Russia. There was nobody over there that was going to invade them, I don't think. The big gum Europeans don't even defend themselves. We have to go over there to defend them, put our own blood and kids out there to defend the Europeans. So they thought the Western Europeans were going to me, that's like, duh. But Russia's paranoid about this, really paranoid about it. I look and go, why are our boys over there defending them? They don't need to stand up a darn army. Europe should stand up an army of their own, and we shouldn't be over there. We have financed their economic rise, their economic competitiveness against us. If we weren't over there defending them and ensuring that they could trade free around the world with our big Navy that they don't have to supply to, they wouldn't be able to trade. They wouldn't have, they'd have to spend more of their budget on defense. They wouldn't be competitive at all. But we've afforded them to be able to do that and to have a more socialized system. They went against that recently. Some people go, oh, Europe's all social. No, it's not really. But so, and our young people are over here go, oh, yeah, that's the way we need to do it. Then we need to go communism. This is the way to go. But they don't really understand the economics. And that's what's getting us today. So, and I'm going into territory I shouldn't even be talking about here. So, guys, I really don't think, now there are people over here. There are some people over here, the PNAT guys, a Project for the American Century, the Warhawks. We have some Warhawks here that are just insane, that just want to go out and conquer everything. And why? We should be today, it should have been a world after the wall fell that there was no tensions. We should have all been friends. We should have got along, and that stuff should have ended. And we should have outgrown all these things. Well, we haven't. We're still human. Human nature still prevails. That's why you always need a good defense. That's why, you have peace through strength. We forgot that. We thought, oh, it's not true no more. And we let the State Department negotiate away a lot of our defense systems. Now we are critically weak. They know it, and they're willing to take advantage, because anywhere we get world people, countries run by autocratic people, they don't think like we think. They think in terms of power and projection of power. And that's one thing I'll give Trump credit for. He understood that. He also understood the act of negotiation, the art of the deal. He was a negotiator. That's how he come to terms with little Kim. When he threatened to blast him to bits, he says, my rocket's bigger than your rocket, or my red button's bigger than your red button. He just put it right back in his face. Kim went, whoa. But then he was willing to talk to him, wanted to listen with him, which is something Xi Jinping actually talked down to Kim. So Kim got mad at Xi Jinping. He liked Trump. He just had one of his own guys assassinated for insulting Trump recently. So Kim liked Trump. These men of power respect power. If you're a weakling, they ain't gonna respect you. They won't respect your country. When your president is a weakling, when he's just sniffing around and eating ice cream, and when the world's going in flames around him, no, they're not gonna respect him. They won't look down on him. They're gonna think that they can kick him, kick the country that's led by him. and maybe they can. So we got to be careful who we put in the top office. It needs to be somebody that's got some backbone. Don't necessarily have to be a man. Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady, she was tough. She was a tough bird. She proved it too. So, well, women can be tough. But, it don't have to be a man, but, it needs to be somebody with a backbone. Somebody that can project strength. That's who you need for president, or the leader of the country. Now, they should be able to do that with fairness and understanding. George Washington, beat the British Empire, but he had the respect for the people that he had no desire to stay in office more than 2 terms. They wanted to make him a king. And the biggest reason, I don't like the way he cut deals with Alexander Hamilton, who has been, idolized by the woke crowd. Hamilton was all for centralized systems and control and banking. Yeah, that stuff. But, I'm more of a Jeffersonian in that respect. But, at least you got to give credit to Washington. He liberated this country as a general, became president, and he knew that he did not want to establish a precedent for kingships and autocracies. So he stepped down. He could have stayed in power. He could have been a king. But no. Give the man credit. Today, all people want to do is cut the founding fathers down. Now they want to put Walt Disney on the $100 bill. I swear, guys, Walt Disney on the $100 bill. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Let me see what everybody's saying, chat. I am behind on the chat here, guys. My problems. Rosemary, no issue. We need thumbs up. All right, guys. I see some people talking about earlier conversation. Sorry about that. I'm just not getting around to it here. Good luck, Chinese New Year. Remember that there's a history between the USA and Russia. Round 1 was 62, round 2, 2023. Yeah, let's hope not, but it's beginning to smell like it. It is beginning to smell like it. All right. John Long, looks like you're in the same kind of mood that I've been in today. Not my usual self. Yeah, well, it's crazy times, John, crazy times. And Cha-Cha, thank you once again. Rosemary, all bets are out. Why did it jump like that? I hate it when it jumps. I really am trying to read everybody's comment. We got 199 in the room. Let me put this thing in front of me. Let's see. I like how you look. Reminds me of me. Well, there you go. There you go. Me too, says Nunu. C103. We got C103 in the room. Okay, everybody likes what C103 said. That's funny. Cha-Cha laughing. I resemble that remark. They need to read Adam Smith's book. Amen, Merriman. That's a good start. Adam Smith, John Locke, people that were thinkers who thought about the value of freedom, like John Locke, or private enterprise, Adam Smith, Invisible Hand. Very powerful, right? These men were smarter than people today. These were ancient people. They don't know stuff. Their times. No. They were smarter than people are today because they had time to think about these things. They weren't jaded by all the distractions of technology and this stuff. They had time to spend on the very fundamental theories of humanity, of democracy, of rights, of how economies operate at the basic elements. Remember, the Greeks figured out the atom. The Greeks figured out that the world was round and how big it is. They actually calculated the diameter of the earth and got it right. 200 years before Jesus Christ was born, the Greeks figured out the diameter of planet Earth and were right. Flat earthers, bye-bye. The Wealth of Nations, that's one. Yeah. There you go. So let's see. Tony Sambucas, those games. Johnny Be Good. I had shingles, blisters on the outer skin, felt 30-degree burns, most on one side. Hey, Johnny, be good. Are you my Johnny friend from Ardmore? What happened to you, man? Oh, all that from shingles. Whew. I got a buddy named Johnny Be Good up in Ardmore. I was wondering if that's who you were. Let's see here. We need peace. That is what we need. I ain't heard nobody gripe about it. Nobody's griping. Come on, guys. Nobody griping. Fran Drescher for president. Oh, yeah, she was. What was that show? The maid, the something. What was that show she was on? So, Granny, you can get a shingle shot after you clear up. Does it help a lot? I haven't never got one, but I've been tempted. What song of the South won't get old? Song of the South. Song of the South. They'll ignore all that because Disney is so woke. That's why they want them on a $100 bill. I mean, they want to hide all our founding fathers. If you talk about the founding fathers, if you talk about the stuff they wrote, if you talk about the stuff that's in here, you might be a white supremacist. You might be a terrorist, according to the FBI. I covered that a while back. You know, that's the kind of stuff. If you talk about Betsy Ross, I'm talking about, man, I'll break my door down right now any second. Holy smoke. Just me saying these words. And I'm the last guy who was, I advocate peace, not war. I'm telling you, we're on the verge of a civil war, but civil war is the worst thing you can imagine. Civil wars are horrible. If we got to split, let's have a peaceful divorce. And maybe we got to split. There's no reason to have a war. Yay. Wars are crazy. Peace or a piece of pizza. Why not both? Anyway, I don't know. I believe I saw it. What'd you see? The Nanny. Okay, Mag Rising. The Nanny. Yeah, I used to watch a little bit of TV back in the 70s and some in the 80s. Give me control of a nation's money. I care not who makes its laws. Yes, Mayor Amschel Bayer Rothschild. Rothschild means red shield, for those that don't know. And that was a name they acquired because they had as their logo on their shop a red shield. Sun crust that floated against a flat earth. Harnett. Oh, wow, that's why they won't get any. Yeah, there you go. The workers want to get rid of anything that makes them feel uncomfortable. Oh, the wokers. Because they can't handle the truth. Yeah. Only an alert and knowledgeable citizen can comply with the proper mission of the huge industrial military machine of defense with our peaceful methods and goals. You're right, Patrick. You're right. See, that's why you got to be careful with all the propaganda. I'm telling you, both sides put out massive, voluminous propaganda. That's why I'm telling you, we're being played. And sometimes these two sides that look like they're really hard at it are really behind the curtains. I mean, just look how Clinton and H.W. Bush were all buddy-buddy as soon as all the elections were over and out of the White House. Oh, they were hugging and kissing. You thought before they hated each other and was about to pluck each other's eyeballs out. Oh, my God, they had a kiss fest as soon as all their elections were over. See what I'm saying, guys? Putin and Klaus. Everybody thinks Putin's after Klaus. No, he ain't. What does Klaus need? The set of REIT needs our economy to be shattered. They need to destroy our economy for the set of REIT. How else are they going to get you to give up everything you own? Played like a fiddle. Yes, you're right, Arnold. How else are they going to get you to give up everything you own? Are you going to give up your car? Are you going to give up your socks, your underwear? No, that's what they're talking about. You will own nothing. If you read what they write, even your underwear, your socks, are all rented. The bed you sleep in, all rented. Yeah, I've read some of the literature that talks about this theory. Oh, it'd be great. You can live in a house and you got a bedroom you're renting, but the kitchen is like a commons. Everybody's using the kitchen, different people in and out. It's like there's no permanency, there's no anything you hang a hat on. Well, you don't own a hat to hang. How are you supposed to raise kids in an environment like that? You're in a house. Let's say just anybody can come in and rent rooms in that house. Kitchen is for everybody. How do you protect your kids? Kids need some sense of permanence. They need some stability in their lives. Maybe okay for adults, some adults, probably perfect for some adults. And the economy is hurting worldwide. Amen. Be aware of the military industrial complex. That's right. Well, you got to remember, Eisenhower told us about this, but Eisenhower had at least a good sense to wait until he was resigning, he told us as he walked out of office, so they wouldn't come after him. Kennedy told us about it while he was in office. You say, well, that served him, right? Didn't work out too well. Heal the gut, heal the body. Amen. Amen. I'm going to do some videos soon from this channel talking about Grazon. Grazon is like Roundup, and they're putting it all over grass. And, that stuff can affect gut biomes. People are feeding their horses grass with Grazon. Oh, yeah, this grass looks pretty. What are you doing to your horse's guts? What are you doing to the compost? What are you doing to the whole environment with that stuff? You're destroying it. Oh, yeah, it looks pretty. We're getting rid of weeds. Yeah, right. I tell you what, when it comes to an apple, some people, you got to really think things out, guys. Come on. Oh, this is a nice, pretty apple. This is what I want to eat. You know what I say? Who would want to why would I want to eat an apple that a worm wouldn't eat? Think about it. If a worm won't eat it, why should you eat it? There's something wrong with that apple. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I get a little absurd here. I like to illustrate absurdity with absurdity. And so I act out a little bit. Some people don't like that. Well, get a life. We have a little fun here in the face of all the junk they throw at us. So if that's why I like to act things out. I like to have a little fun. And if you don't like that, then go fly a kite. Anyway, they might as well kill me because I'm a collector of everything. Yeah, they don't want that. Collecting requires you to have rooms, and you're probably heating and cooling them rooms. Your carbon footprint is getting big. Oh, okay, well, maybe you got a barn, but they took some carbon to make the nails you put in that barn to make the screws. These guys are so obsessed with all this stuff, guys. It's crazy. It is in your field for many years. You're right. You're right. But see, then it winds up being in compost, and some people put it in gardens. That's one of the things that you got to watch out for worm bedding. I'm going to do a video on this Grazon, guys. Grazon is coming up. It's a topic coming up. I started to do a video on horse manure, and I realized, you know what? I talked about Grazon, and I got thinking about it. You know what? I need to show you guys the websites associated with it and go through it and talk it in a bigger fashion. So I did not post that video. I made it 2 weeks ago. And I said, I'm not ready to post this. I got to do some more development. Worms are dying. Yeah, it's not good for them. No. They want to kill the weeds because those weeds are natural medicines. Oh, there you go. Hey, W, talking nugs, you got it. Tiffany, have you seen the line being built in Saudi Arabia? That's pretty interesting, right? It's another hive. It's just a big, long hive. That's what they're talking about, a 5-minute city is in that building. You might only you won't be permitted to go up and down the whole thing, just wherever you can walk in 5 minutes. You'll have everything you need right there. But your choice is like one restaurant. You better always like going to that restaurant because that's the only place you're going to go eat. But it doesn't matter. They all got the same menu. Yes, cricket crackers and almond milk. And they're actually talking roach milk. I'm serious. Look up roach milk, guys. Look up cockroach milk. It's out there. Mr. Lee is an amazing man. There you go. John, I have a large collection. Yeah. They, let's see. Garrison is horrible. All that mess is horrible. Let's see. I am a natural grower. There you go. Me too. I don't use any chemicals. None. You know, organic farming permits a lot of stuff that shouldn't be permitted, I'll be honest. Fake meat. Oh, that's what they want you eating. They want to grow it in a laboratory. They're trying to get rid of cows. Oh, yeah. I got to show y'all an article. I'll do this over in my other channel here in a little bit. We'll do it. We're about to switch channels. I'll show you a few websites. We'll switch channels. Yeah, but Bill Gates is now trying to come up with a way to control cow farts, cow belches. And he just needs to stay out of it. He needs to stay out of it. Oh yeah, and now they're also going to be giving jabs to cows, chickens, wildlife. I mean, it's just nuts what they want to do. Everything. You won't be able to get any food that don't have a spike protein if they have their way. But listen, you can always eat. I tell you, spend your money locally. It's going to be the point. That's the only way you can do it and know that you're getting something safe. Go to your local farmer, your local gardener, buy local. And always use your local artisan. Don't go to these big companies because these big companies all support the House of Klaus. And he's hey, I ain't gonna say that. I might get in trouble. There, new days. Patrick, who controls the food supply, controls the people, controls the energy, controls the cons, yeah. It's Henry Kissinger. And he did. The Klaus is his protege. Let's see, I guess I showed up way too late. Yeah, maybe. I tell you what, we got a lot of people here now. I'm going to show I'm going to blow through real fast some of the articles I showed earlier. And then I'll show a few more. And then we're going to go to Swivelhead News for a little bit, maybe Galactic Graves. It's getting late in a hurry, though. I don't want to be on here all night long. I invented a cow fart catcher that's one size fits all, involves balloons and gas compressor for cows. Let cows be cows. There's always been cows. And we didn't have cows. The United States of America was one ginormous herd of buffalo. Yeah. And they were doing the same thing. One ginormous herd of buffalo. It's probably the only reason the Ice Age hadn't started. Now that we wiped out the buffaloes, the Ice Age is going to be coming on real fast. So, yeah, holy smoke. You know, if cows are so bad when they weren't buffalo, I mean, come on. There's, these people don't think, again, see, they don't think things through. And they show you, well, the earth is heated up, blah, blah, blah. But they only show you like 10 years, 100 years of history. They don't go way back. Look at the geological record. Oh, yeah, we won't be able to survive. The world's going to heat up just a little bit more, and human beings will not be able to survive. The world will come to an end. It's going to burn up in 5 or 10 years. That's what they tell us. And so the Earth's heating up somewhat. If you go back to the geological record of the heat and CO2, so we're like way down here. Way down here. If these nuts do take over, I'm set. Sugar beets are GMO, soybeans, corn, tomatoes, not all tomatoes, but a lot of them are. So you got to watch what you're buying. Grow heirloom, guys. Grow heirloom. Grow heirloom. Yeah, there you go. The world's burning up around us. Everything's going crazy, and they're worried about a cow fart. Want to ban you from using propane stoves, internal combustion engines. California banning gas-powered lawnmowers and leaf blowers. Duh. That's where they want to take us, Arnold. We're supposed to resist them. Well, now the goal of the W. Let me take that initials and I'm going to turn it around. FEW, the few, is to have their stuff in place by 2030. I mean, it's already in place and operates. They want their world the way they want it. when 2030 rolls around, 7 years from now. 7 years does very much resemble a period in the book of Revelations. Just saying, guys, I don't know. Just saying, it's interesting. Yeah, they want to ban our butts. No, actually, I'll tell you, there's too many people. We got to get rid of people. The stratospheric controlled perturbation experiment launched by Harvard. Yeah, well, yeah, they're actually trying to do that now. Who gave them permission? How does some group decide it's okay to do something that alters the entire world without a conversation in the whole world? Why don't we get a vote in that? I've heard many people say, I love the smells of cows on a hot summer day. Charleston. There's nothing like the smell of cow farts first thing in the morning, like napalm, cow farts. What we need to put emphasis on is potable water. Yes, yes, exactly. Exactly. They'll just get rid of cans pretty quickly. That's right. Them infernal cans have to be taken out. All right, guys, I'm going to show a couple of things. Let's go back. We got 191. We got people join us. So let's show them real quick what all this is about to start with. I go retro. I feel easier living like 100 years ago. Yeah, there you go. Didn't have to deal with a lot of this craziness. Guys, if we could get rid of the machinations of my precious, you're mine, I got to control you. If we can get rid of those knuckleheads and have freedom, we could live a great life. I mean, technology is just a tool. Problem is, if we allow them to monopolize the stuff against us, we're in trouble. But if we're able to use it as a tool for freedom, we could have a wonderful future. Our future could be just boundless. It could be, wow. I don't know how all the problems they throw in us. They're doing all that for control. We could have an awesome future, guys. We just got to make sure we got the freedom. And they don't put that jackboot on their neck. Don't try to get rid of most people. Charles says, that's the craziest thing. You hear that too many people, but they're also not enough being populated for certain categories. Well, guys, our society is falling apart because the policies to try to get rid of people, you know, that's messing society up. We've got to have more people. And there's nothing wrong with it. Our planet can handle a lot more people. Anyway, let me go in here and share some stuff again. Find the right screen. Da ding, da ding, da ding, 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 ding. I'm going to go back to the top. We're going to start because we got a lot of people joining us as I cover this. So just to take it from the top, and we'll blast through this stuff, and then we're going over to Swivelhead News for a little bit, and then we'll go to Galactic Graves. So whenever we go to Galactic Graves, we'll go to Swivelhead. Which one you want to go to first? Global warming. Amen. I proudly support global warming. There you go. Go to greengregs.com. Winter hit me pretty bad. I may have to shut down worm cells at a certain point. I don't know how, if they're going to be coming back or what, real quick. So I'm selling worms right now. Angela, late to the show, did we discuss the hoopla of the Earth crust stopping? I was going to talk on my Galactic Grace channel, but that's out there. We did talk about it here. We did talk about it. But in essence, yeah, the Earth's core apparently stopped spinning. But it's got a liquid layer around it. So in terms of direct interface, outside of that might be magnetic. There might be some torque aspect to it. I mean, it's really weird. Think about it. It's talking about the liquid core, you know, that's really weird. But they're believing now, they're claiming this takes place on a 70-year cycle. But the evidence for that is very tenuous. So we shall see. Leslie, how you doing? All right, Jesse, going to bed? Good night, Jesse. Thanks for joining us. He's got to get in the morning to to watch the forest probably or something. I don't know. Jesse, I can't wait till I get to California. We're going to have to tag up. Man, we got to tag up. Leslie Greenfield. All right. So let's, Patrick says, even today, there's little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. That's our job, to bring these traditions along. It's answer no, not really. Not really. We've just recently been bouncing the sonic waves and monitoring it just right from what I've read. So, but there's certain attributes that make them think that this has happened before and happens on a 60 to 70 year cycle. If it does, it's no big deal. Does it? We'll see. I don't know, guys. You know, in the book it says, you know, there'll be earthquakes in diverse places. So maybe that's what we're talking about. Anyway, I'm going to go and do some share screen. I can get over these hiccups. Not hiccups. She-cups. Anyhow, here we are, guys. This was from this Greek. Oh, it's still Greek now. Wow. Now, basically, they're calling for a new war to enter a new phase, a new patriotic war against the West. And Putin's about to make some major announcement. So I wish I hadn't lost what this said. And there's also an article about a Navy SEAL that's alleged to have gone AWOL, who happens to be shot. Was he really AWOL, or was he in Ukraine on a mission? See, there you go. Let's click on this and see if we can go to this article. Easy done for your ITAR program. Oh, how did I get out of this? I don't even know how to say no in Greek. Why does this come up in English? All the buttons are in Greek. Oh my God. Thanks. Let me kill that whole page. ITAR. That's what I deal with in my profession, by the way. This stuff knows I'm an engineer working military technology, space technology. So it gives me stuff like it. ITAR is International Trafficking in Arms. And if you're doing the work I do, you got to be very careful what you put out, and it's got to be properly marked and everything else, and limited distribution because of that, to be compliant with international trafficking in arms. Yeah. So let's see here. This is this is RT, Russia Today. For those that don't know, so I went from a Greek website. Now we're on a Russian website. And here's Prigozhin saying that Americans fear the Wagner Group because they know we can kick their. Okay. All right, they've changed the article. It's on here. All right. Well, there's articles on here where basically what's going on is this. They've changed their feature articles. So I was going to show you it's not here on the top. I'll click through here. I found it just by clicking the right arrow. Russia and the West are on the verge of a real war, says Sergei Lavrov. Sergei Lavrov is the foreign minister of Russia. He's like our Secretary of State. He is in South Africa, and he says the conflict between Russia and the West can no longer be defined as a hybrid war. No longer. But instead approaching becoming a real one. So it can no longer be considered this, but it's just approaching this. See, it's kind of a, you know, he said, hey, it's not hybrid war, but then again, he says, if it's not hybrid, how is it not already a real one? He said approaching. I think, you know, he played hardball here and softball over here all in one sentence. So he noted that this almost real war was something the West has been preparing for a long time against Russia. All right, so he claimed that Western powers are seeking to destroy everything Russian, from language to the entire culture, and in Ukraine at least. Well, they are trying to stamp it out in Ukraine, but you know, in a way, it's kind of hard to blame Ukraine because they're getting stomped by Russia, and they certainly don't want to pay a lot of homage to that today. but there are ethnic Russian people in Ukraine. So that's part of what's got Russia upset there. Russia threatens severe retaliation, including global catastrophe and nuclear war, if the West arms Ukraine. And I've showed you where they're, Dmitry Medvedev has talked this, and guy who had been president before and after. Yeah, I got Lehman's guys. Check out my Lehman's links. Where Dmitry it said that. I've showed y'all where Laroff has said it. I've shown y'all where this guy here. Now this is when somebody's trying to hit me the pronunciation. Volodin. He is the head of the lower house of the Duma. The Duma speaker. This is got, so this is like our House of Representatives. It'd be like he's a Nancy Pelosi or the what's that guy's name now? We just put in there from after much consternation. Get brain lock. Somebody will throw his name out here in a minute. So yeah, this is what this guy's like. But he says that supplies of offensive weapons to Kiev regime, you always call something regime if you don't like it, would lead to a global disaster, global. If Washington and NATO countries send arms that will be used for attacks on peaceful cities or attempts at occupying our lands, as they have been making. So I don't think the only threats that's been made in that regard is for Ukraine to take back areas taken by the Russians. So if they have annexed that and they consider that to be their lands, so it's an existential threat to Russia, according to the definition, as honored by their Speaker of the Duma. He said this would provoke retaliatory measures with the use of more powerful weapons. Okay, so he's really talking nuclear war, guys. We're talking nuclear war threats. But look, Lindsey Graham, Senator Lindsey Graham, is screaming at Biden to send over the M1 tanks. That's what this article is saying. He says he's tired of our show. Excuse me, guys. And now they're also concerned that we've got a plot to take out Putin. So our office spoke to that. Basically, it's another thing to get us into war. So there we are. It's going from bad to worse. Now we agree with that. All right, there's more in this article. I'm not going to go off through it. So they're thinking Putin is. Some of them are thinking he is on his last leg. Anyway, now the power station's been hit, guys. Now this happened a couple of days back. But just so you know, this is still going on. And if we get, if this ratchets up, you expect to see a lot more of this. Lindsey Wishy-Washy Graham, you're right. The widow of John McCain. That's what I think he is. He's John McCain's widow. Witter. And here we are, guys. I kid you not. Billy Gates wants to start.
Successful entrepreneurs show without the right tools.
Oh, I hate it when this stuff launches.
That's why
Stop. Shut up. Oh my God, I hate when websites launch videos and start blabbing. Bill Gates wanted to stop cows from doing what cows do. Speaking of global warming, I got my website fixed. Yeah, I had problems. Remember, you couldn't see all these buttons up here, and if you went to buy worms, the buttons disappeared there. I was having all kind of issues, guys. I got her fixed. I got it fixed. Bing, bing, bing. You can even make a donation here. So we've got the worm website fixed. So if you want to support global worming, go to greengregs.com. That's interesting. That page has got, if I click buy worms up here, it's got a different address up here than it does if I click it down there, but it does the same thing. greengregs/buy worms. Alrighty, guys. Also, y'all can check out, hey guys, I'm growing microgreens again. Check out my microgreens. We're gonna be doing mushrooms soon. Oh yeah. Join our Survival Tribe Network. Guys, this was put together by Wise Owl. She's not with us, and I hadn't seen her. Hey, has anybody seen Colorado Jen? I've not seen Colorado Jen in a while. Has anybody seen her in any other chat rooms? I'm worried about Colorado Jen, guys. I hadn't seen her in a while. Thank you, Need Days. All right, now check this out. I'm gonna hit the refresh and see if this is still true. This map is kind of funny. The oddball thing I'm seeing this map is across the entirety of the United States, the lower 48. There's not more than hardly 10 degrees of difference anywhere, except for right here. I think it got colder earlier. It's more true earlier than it is right now. The difference in temperature across the United States is very small. When I looked at it a couple hours ago, it was literally within 10 degrees. Now it's varying more. The mountains are cooling off. But if you look up here, St. John 23, Lowell, Massachusetts 25. Oh, we got 19 up here, Bangor 21. 28 here. Atlanta's 28. Zoom in. San Antonio's 50. Oh, wow. One there. Houston's 52. Cleveland's 58. 30s over here. A lot of snow in southern New Mexico. Flagstaff's 19. Show Low's 19. Holbrook 70. Snowflake's 19. All right. Is Chewy in the house? I don't see Chewy. All right. 34, 28. We got Arnold Schmidt in the house from Alberta. Most of 20s. Got an 8 degree up here at Fort McMurray, 16 here. 26 in Red Deer. Calgary's 30. Calgary's the warmest place I see up here. Grand Prairie's 35. 30 from 8 degrees to 35 right across here. 8 degrees up here. All right, what's Delta? I can't tell if that's 8 or -8. What am I reading here? I want to go in. I think it's -8. Delta Junction, -8. -13 over here. -19. That's hot. I call that a heat wave when I was there. So we're in Central Asia. Not as cold as it was last time we were here. All right, here we go. -53. This river. All right, let's get back down here. I think this is where they set off the Tsar bomb right up here. Biggest bomb ever. Now let's zoom in. Well, it's really freezing or below. Tanks might roll. It might be time for tanks to roll. They're talking about a big offensive from Russia, guys. It's getting cold. Tanks might be rolling. All righty, guys. Get Australian house right again. All right. 42 outside Texas Hill Country. It's summertime down here in Australia. We had somebody from Australia earlier. 93 up here in the desert. 91, 77. It's cooler as I get Canberra, 66. Melbourne, 68. Closer and closer to Antarctica down here. There it is. There's Antarctica. There's snow. There's 86. 98 in Alice Springs. Alice Springs, at least launch all the balloons there. All right, where's the temperatures? All right, guys, enough of that. Also, we got special deals right now over here at my Patriot Supply, guys. You want to check it out. Look at this. Stove, live straw, all coming in with the food now, a lot of prepping stuff. All right, guys, you might check out the Product Papa's channel. If I go to flea market, I'll be doing lives from there, and I'll do more product reviews in the future. If all this stuff's got your nerves jaded, come in and listen to Rain on a Tin Roof or Peeping Frogs all night to calm you down. That's the channel I put up there. This is my other Rumble channel. And I put topics on here that a lot of this stuff is stuff I could not put on YouTube. Although there's some overlap. And this is where we're going in a minute. We're probably going to stay here long because it's sort of getting late. I'll share a few things here. Then we might go to over to Galactic Grace and I talk a couple things there, space weather and Earth's core. BRB, got to move a bit. Okay, Matterman, come back to Galactic Greg's. We got 182 in the house. Nope, now it's down to 177. It's pretty good for this time of the morning, 2 a.m. All right, everybody, we're going to switch over here to the Galactic, to the Swivel Head News channel. So be sure to come here to Swivel Head News. It's going to take me a minute to shut this down and go over and start that up. So you got to bear with me. Just go over there and just wait a few minutes. And I will be up on Swivel Head News. We'll talk some stuff that we're not going to talk over here. Snowstorm heading our way in Indiana. It don't surprise me. Yep, they're waiting for frozen ground and they're going to be rolling. A lot of rain. Yeah, I'm expecting a major offensive from Russia. It's even said that that the Ukraine's going to conduct an offensive. So we're going to have a very interesting end of the winter and spring over there. It could get crazy. Yeah, we'll talk the asteroid over on Galactic Grid. So we'll hit 2 other channels. We're going to go bang, bang, bang. We're going to go to Swivel Head News. And we're going, all right, New Days just shared it. That's it. We're going to go Swivel Head News. We're not going to stay there long. Then we're going to go to Galactic Gregs, and we'll talk asteroid and Earth core on the Galactic Gregs. Anyway, guys, 211. Okay. So join me over there. Everybody, come on, let's all go together. We got a few likes. I appreciate that, guys. I really do. How do we link to Swivel Head News? New Days, just put the link up above. Just go that link and click on it. Or if you're actually on the channel, it's, guys, you can go into YouTube. Look, I'm sharing. If you just go in and type this in, type in YouTube at Swivel Head News. Take you right to it. Use New Days link or do that. Away we go. There you go. Just subbed on Swivel Head News. Well, thank you, Q&A. All right, join me over there. We're going there for a little bit, and then we'll go to Galactic Grex. We won't stay so long. It's getting late, but I do want to get over there. I need to get some time on that channel. We're getting close to getting Swivel Head News monetized, and I will move more and more of this content over there of this type of nature. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. Hey, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Cha. That was awesome of you. Mods, you always do a good job in here. I appreciate y'all. And I want to appreciate everybody for watching. So stop the share. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We really do. We are a family. And so, we got to have a few more relaxed videos. So just, where we just chat. I'm a good notion one day to set up a Zoom channel or something. And there's talk. Some people want us to have a conference. Do y'all want to do that? Y'all want a Swivel Head conference? A Swivel Head rendezvous, Green Greg's rendezvous? Talk about that. So, all right, New Days has shared it again and again. So, oh yeah, she shared the Galactic Greg's channel. We'll go over there after Swivel Head. We're going to Swivel Head next. So, everybody,